Oh. Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a few heavy consonants, the M and the F, and I don't think there'll be a bingo here, so I'm looking at perhaps fag looks okay. Okay. This looks a little bit closer to bingo territory. Diastema through an I. Opponents played UFO. Edemators through an E. Odemata. No. I don't think there's a 7 here, but I might be mistaken. Now the G doesn't really seem to assist this rack, but there is the AGE ending. No, nothing jumping out. It does look like a good rack. Tadiums. That wouldn't be. No. MA. Do I just play MA perhaps? Or AM? Same difference. MA for 10. It's a good rack leave. Doesn't work out for me this time. I thought I'd draw maybe a vowel, but no. I had a beautiful DATES leave, and I've picked up a K and duplicated the S, so I have tasked plus an S. Okay, opponent bingos. I have iCats for 42, that looks fine. Not a bad pickup. I have the IOUS ending. Doesn't seem to provide anything. Tough Scottish spelling. I have the oid ending. And the epi prefix. I have the out prefix as well. Outspied. No. And the IEST. Dow pierced. No. Not seeing anything there, unfortunately. I thought there might be something here, but just not seeing anything. Pode 34. I draw the Q and the U. I have the ISH ending. Not seeing a 7 here, perhaps a 8. Opponent gets rid of a couple of O's. I think Queen looks okay. Maybe even Queens for 62. Tough doesn't take an S. So let me have one last look at if there is a bingo, because it does look like a fairly flexible rack with this blank and the QU combo. Quashing. Yes, quashing. That's but that's face value. For 71, I think. Do I go with quashing, or do I keep the blank, take out a hotspot and score 45 with a decent chance of playing a bingo next turn? I wonder. I think quashing probably the play. Quashing for 71. I draw a fairly balanced rack, but Vilde is good. I don't have any way of playing through the queue. 31 for Vilde, not a bad score. Lived. $34 as well. Tayed, okay, opponent. I've got Devil here for 36, but I'd like to take out that hotspot. $34, yeah, I think this makes sense. I draw another L, so I have the duplication to address. Rallying through a Y. No Y's available. Not seeing much else apart from rallying as far as bingos go. If I had a T, I'd have trank. So maybe play off G-I-double-L. Or maybe G-L-L somewhere, because, well, sank is good, C-I-N-Q, but more likely to draw. Mind you, there are only two T's to come, so not a very high probability of drawing one of them. Opponent scores well with the Z, 44 points. Now Za takes a G, so play of Lang. Langs for 20 seems okay. Oh, Langs. Lings. Is Lings good? Yeah, Lings is fine. Royalette plays down here. That just jumped out at me. For 75. It's a nice looking rack, that one. Oleatory. Okay, opponent bingo's there. I'd like to get the Y doubled. As in, or tripled and then ED. So that would be, what would that look like? YE, or even YE there. Oh, Royal, no, not Royalette. Kaloya, that'll work. Kaloya for, RI doesn't work. It's got to end YES or YED. Kaloya works here, scores quite well. 82. Fairly balanced rack, but the V and the B not ideal together as far as the synergy goes. Do I have a 6-letter play ending in E? Invade. That looks alright. For 30, I feel I can do better with the scoring potential that these tiles represent and the flexibility of the rack as a whole. So I'll be looking mid-30s, I would say, for this rack. Okay, this is 38, good score for opponent. Now, a word ending in D would be ideal. So vined would work nicely. I don't think bavined is good. Bavin is good, but it's not a verb. Bavined. not a verb, I don't think. Oh, it is. Bavand. Or maybe it's an adjective. So that was a good one. 104 points. Now, this is a bingo lane here in column B. And column N still exists as a bingo lane. The J, a couple of W's and a Y. And the B doesn't look like a fantastically bingo-y set of tiles, but I can still see retain in there, so the potential exists. Now hic is good, and cert. Cert for 32. Opponent plays the J and the W off. Now the only real bingo lane that remains is column N, unless he has a fancy play through SI. But if I take out column N, there's no chance of bingoing because there are no S's or blanks to come, so column F is out of the question. Merc looks okay for 36. This would outrun opponent anyway, I'd say. Oh, there's 8 in the bag, so he even if he bingos, it won't be the end of the game. I'll still get another turn. I have warty. Don't see that playing anywhere currently. My Y does play next to the B here, but 30 points, not bad actually, at this stage of the game, with the board tightening up. I'll have a look at what the pool looks like, the remaining tiles after my opponent's next turn, because there is a potential for a bingo from these letters. Aliener, for example, but that wouldn't work with RI. Okay. He's opened another bingo lane. Just looking at potential bingos from these letters. Nah, I don't see anything. There might be something, but I'm not seeing it. Now, Trank, not available, almost. I've got allow here for 29. Or do I just go with... No, I think allow is better. Or maybe J. Or jaw. 28. Yeah. Now, does opponent have anything? Don't think so. Borty is good. And Torty doesn't quite reach the double. That's why I kept the Y back, because I noticed the potential for the hook there. I don't see a 6 here. Botty is good as well. Orby gets the B tripled. Yeah, I think I'll just go with, I don't know, Botty. And then opponent has Inure to go out. And he does go out. So final score 492 to 390. Let's have a look. I'll just thank my opponent for the game. Let's see what we missed. Fag seems fine for the opening rack. UFO for 8, but opponent had U for 17. Underlapping Fag. Or overlapping, I should say. At 7G across. He also had... Oh, but he also had U underlapping, that's right. So it played both above and below. Now, I thought of Ma for 10, great rack leave, but Duma. Yeah, maybe that would have been better. Duma with... Yeah, that rack leave's very strong. Okay, a slight miss there. Christe and Racius, Atresic, Steeric, few others. Now diecast for 48. Wow. I think that can be spelt with a C as well. Ecat's second best for 42, so not bad. And then Tough for 22. Seems best for opponent. Pode for 34 was best from this rack. I thought there might be a bingo. It just looked like a really decent set of tiles, but nothing there. Opponent a bit Val heavy with this rack. Goo for 15 was best. And then, so Quinn for 45, equity-wise, was better than playing the bingo, and I did contemplate it. But look at the equity difference. Almost 9 points better in equity to forego the bingo, play Quinn, and retain the rack, because the SH synergy is fantastic, and you're also taking out a hot spot, denying your opponent a good score. So I almost did pull the trigger on Quinn, but I just thought, what happens if the rack deteriorates and you can get an extra 30 points. Anyway, interesting to do the analysis so you can see how the analyzer works those equity scores out. Quashing came down, then Tayed was best for 31. Nice parallel play by opponent. Devil for 36, I did identify at K5, but I felt that column O was pretty hot and easy to take advantage of for a big score, so I thought I'll forego 2 points and close down the hotspot using exactly the same letters. Tsar for 44 was best for that's a nice rack actually. Tsar for 44, very nice, with a decent rack leave. And now opponent's a little bit ahead. I've got a good looking rack, but just didn't have the Y for rallying. And Hill for 14 was suggested from the HI. Actually, that's really nice now that I look at it. AGINR, very strong rack leave. And especially for bingos ending in ING for column F because of GU, and INGS because of zags. So yeah, I really like that play, Hill. I went with Lings to mitigate the danger of row 15. And Perfins for 87 was one of the bingo. Oh, it was the only bingo, but then a 4-timer with Fireship. Wow, look at that through the HI. But opponent spots the Perfins bingo, and which actually wouldn't have played if I didn't provide that opening. Interesting. Anyway, and then I've got Kaloya for 82, which was the highest score on that particular turn. Now, opponent's got the X and a hefty 38 points picked up from Oxo, which gave me a monster comeback play of 104 for Bavand. And then opponent had the J, so Jaw for 26 was best. Now Merc was best for 36 here, and yeah, I thought there might be something a little better, but that was best. Now opponent very close to bingo territory here, and actually does have Aliener on his rack, which is the bingo that I had identified from the remaining tiles, but RI just scuppered his plan there. Now Wine for 16, but he goes with LA, which makes sense because it opens another bingo lane. Toei for 23 with a strong rack leave, or Jaw for 28. Wow, it's quite a big equity score difference. I know the rack leave of ART is a lot more flexible than ORTTY, but yeah, interesting. I mean, Torty is good, so I thought at a minimum I can play Torty there. So Uterine for 14 from the UT there. Not really much opponent can score with on that rack. And then Bray for 27 was best here at H6. Oh, interesting. Bide, Earn, and Moy. Nice. I went with Botti just to kind of expedite the end of the game. And I knew opponent had no heavy scoring tiles, so I didn't worry about that type of thing from the trip. And Inure was the end of the game. So that was that. A good game all in all. We didn't actually reach many of the triple word squares in that game. Just the 3. But interesting with quashing. Yeah, Quinn just left such a strong rack leave and took out the hotspot. So I think in retrospect, Quinn might have been better, but not by a huge amount. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.